So I'll describe the story as my dad told. So they get to Suffolk Downs. Now my dad says he was standing in front of the Suffolk Downs clubhouse when a hearse pulls up. And pulls up right next to him. He stops. And he said the car door opens in the back. And who's in there? It's Uncle Frank, Ringo, Paul, John, George. So they came. So
That's
Frank
crazy.
had the idea because, the fans are so nuts. If they saw the Beatles come in a limousine, they'd be banging on the windows and everything. But if it's a hearse, they're not expecting that. So the hearse drove right by everybody, and Frank told them to pull up in front of my dad, and so my dad got in the hearse and was hanging out with the Beatles.
Oh, I love it.
And he said, that they were the nicest of all the rock and roll bands who ever worked for him. He said they were the most polite, the most just genuine. They said, we hope, we're so glad that you brought us here and that you put all this effort into this. And he said that they said, we hope we can put on a good show for you. And just the most respectful. Remember, they had crew cuts at the. This was before all the the drugs and everything had kind of polluted the rock and roll scene. There was just a purity and innocence about them, I think, at the time. And so he hung out with them, and then I guess he was just making sure things. After that, he got out. Making sure things were all set. And I'm not sure where Frank was, but my dad said the first half of the show he was watching from the press box with the Beatles manager, Brian Epstein. He said that somebody breached the stage and there was pandemonium. And my mom and my brother, I guess we'll just assume he was there, was sitting in like the third row. And I guess the concert stopped. And he said my mother, the police had to push my mother up over the fence, over the security fence, my brother. And that's how the concert ended.